But we're going to do it in kind of a podcasty type way. In a bit of a podcasty-ish. Podcasty-ing. Podcasty-like. Podcasting. Podcasting. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 1. Hopefully, many more. We're here with George Tell us all about yourself. Melissa, good evening. Hi friends, hope you're all having a nice night. Welcome in. One is the loneliest number. It has been in the past, yes. Okay, you ready? Boy, I've had a weird few days. Yesterday was yet another opening of a Walt Disney World attraction, event, area, you call it whatever you want. It was an opening day yet again at Walt Disney World yesterday. For not only a fireworks show, but for the whole entire middle of Epcot. And yet again, today I woke up to everybody making videos and everybody making TikToks and reels and posts about how they're underwhelmed with Epcot and So I was just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this is just so interesting to me how every time one of these Disney things opens, everybody has so much negative stuff to say about it. And I try to think to myself, what is a lens that people could possibly be thinking these things through? Like, are they thinking they want the old? People are just kind of obsessed with the old thing? And if that's the case, then we're doomed, because Disney will never be able to do anything new that anybody cares about at all. This is what I want to get to. What happened to the DidsTube community? What happened to everybody that does this? Why are there so few and far between people that want to say hello to anybody anymore? Where's the collaborations? Where's it all gone? And I have to tell you, I was inspired by listening to a podcast that popped up on my YouTube feed by these two people, I'm assuming husband and wife, called Main Street Moments. Shout out to their channel. They had about 16,000 subs, something like that. I listened to this podcast, and it was basically them talking about what they had heard from the WDWNT podcast, Tom and the Gang, who we all know I've never been a fan of, ever. They were kind of critiquing this whole thing where they were talking about the Diz community, who hates each other. They were talking about who doesn't hang out with each other anymore and who doesn't collab, and my name happened to come up. And I thought to myself, well, that's interesting, because I'm listening to an hour and 15-minute podcast, and in this 10 seconds, my name happens to come up. So I thought to myself, well, you know, when we're talking about DFB, WDWNT, all years, Jackie, Paging Mr. Morrow, Dev, Passport to the Parks, Rob, who's not around anymore, Josh, Jenna, Tanya, everybody in between. They're talking about everybody. And I thought to myself, that's interesting to have my name kind of floated in here. And I thought to myself, like, what is it that most people are even trying to get out of doing any of this? Covering Disney, being there in person, being one of these people, being somebody that sits around and makes a podcast about people that do this stuff. I was so enamored by the whole thing. And I went and I saw they have a ton of podcasts. So these people have been doing this for quite some time. And I was like, it got me thinking about a lot of things, right? So I'm boots on the ground. I just want to put this out there. I think a lot of the problem with a lot of the creators out there is that they're not as boots on the ground as I am. Josh and Jenna, yes, a lot of the streamers are, but vloggers are not boots on the ground people. Nate, to his credit, is. Opening day, everybody's boots on the ground, but are they there every day? Are they like living the Disney life? No. I am. Especially when I'm in a mode like I am right now, and I have been throughout, have I had my moments of not wanting to be at the theme parks? Yes, of course I have. Haven't we all? It's what happens when you move down here. It's a part of the process, is learning how to take Disney. Hi, I'm talking. Learning how to take Disney in a new kind of way. For me, it's been many different things. I like to vlog at first, and then I started the streaming, and through the streaming, that was all new and fun. And then when COVID kind of ended, I was still fresh and things were quiet, and I got a chance to kind of really enjoy Disney. And then really after that, I got hit by a lot of things in my personal life and through Disney that I just wasn't into. I wasn't into what my DVC membership meant anymore. I wasn't into what was happening around the parks in terms of the policies. I wasn't into what Disney now, and then flash forward, to a point where even the company as a whole, I saw the Hulu thing got announced today. Disney and Hulu are gonna get absorbed into each other. I mean, you think about The Mandalorian when Disney Plus came out, it was getting more subscribers than any other streaming service. I just don't know what happened where the tables turned with Disney so much, where it seems like most of the critique that they receive is negative. So that was my number one thing I wanted to talk about, is what happened with the negativity. Why is it, and I'm not saying everybody said, some people said it was a good show, but some people are so stuck up Illumination's butt that they'll never get over it. And it's kind of hard. What's up, Shay? How you doing? Dude, I'm so sorry I called you Shia forever. I like Shia LaBeouf. It's good, Shay. Guys, it was good to meet Shay and his family. And hi to Anthony, Cheryl. Hi to Lily and Matt, Alyssa, Chris. Hello, Ryan. Love pugs. Everybody else that's in the bushes there hiding, hello to you as well. Hit the like button if you feel like it. Hit the dislike button if you feel like it. The negativity around everything that happens is tremendous. And what blows my mind is that of all the things that have released in Disney World of late that I've been a part of that really deserve kind of heavy criticism, and there's only one thing. I've been around for a lot of Disney openings. Let me give you a little history in case you're new to the channel. Hi, I'm Tom. I do Disney. Dawn, hello. Cheryl, Anthony. Hence the name of the channel, Tom Does Disney. I've been here since 2018. I got a chance to be a part of Toy Story's opening summer. I got to be a part of Galaxy's Edge's opening summer. I got to be a part of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway's opening, Rise of the Resistance's opening. I got to be a part of Ratatouille, what is it called? Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. I have seen, for premieres of fireworks shows, Epcot Forever, Harmonious, and Illuminous. And I've seen the end, what was the re-premiere, and the end and what was the beginning of 2 fireworks shows at Magic Kingdom, being Enchantment and Halfway Round. I went to the parks as a kid. Hi Rob, how are you? I went to the parks as a kid a lot. I remember parts of Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot that don't exist anymore. And some of the more recent things that did exist were Epcot. I mean, my Hollywood Studios has been gone for a long time. My Magic Kingdom that I grew up with has been gone for a long time. Now there's remnants of it. Pirates, Jungle Cruise, Space, all that stuff. The whole change of New Fantasyland. There's no more sky buckets. There's no skyway. There's no 20,000 leagues under the sea. There's, you know, it's just, there's different. There's no Mr. Toads. There's no Snow White Scary Adventures. It's just a different kind of vibe. Small World, Peter Pan, their classics, Haunted Mansion. I'm so happy some of these things have never changed, but in the fact that they never changed becomes boredom. If you're somebody like me and you move down here, and I think that's why everybody that's at these openings, everybody is so like, should be so happy that new things are opening. But for some reason they're not, ever. I think my biggest criticisms that I've seen the parks, I thought Enchantment was a lackluster Happily Ever After. I didn't think it was bad, I thought it was a worse Happily Ever After. It had the same story to it, basically. It had the same musical kind of numbers. It just didn't have the oomph that Happily Ever After had. I could say the same about Luminous and Harmonious, because Harmonious was the bigger, better show. But Illuminous was beautiful, and so was Illuminations. So was Wishes. These things have all been incredible, but think about Illuminations and Wishes. They had lasted throughout half, 3/4 of the company's life. The park's life. It's insane to think things are going to just be like that forever, because how many times would you want to see something like that? Sure, you'd want to see it now, and maybe it'd be nice if every once in a while they had nights at the parks that were throwback nights, that they did do Wishes, that they did do Illuminations without the ball, maybe even, you know, like, it would be cool once a year to remember those things. Like, but on the other hand, where's the electrical light parade? We can talk about some things that Disney hasn't done right all day long, but most of the time it's not the stuff that they're doing, it's the stuff they're not doing, right? I don't think that the Splash Mountain retheme is going to be bad. I think it's going to be really nice. It's not about what Disney does, it's about what they don't do. For me, most of the time. Very few things that Disney does, and I think to myself, that was bad. So let's talk about those things, because I'm not above the negativity. This first part of this conversation, which is, again, if you're just joining, where's all the negativity in the Disney community? Where does it all come from? Tron is not a bad ride. It is as good in some ways as Guardians is. The community's perception of these two rides, for me, defines what's wrong with Disney World. If you're mad at the new Epcot area, or if you're mad at Illuminous, or if you're mad at Remy's, or if you're mad at Mickey and Minnie's because it took over the Great Movie, if you're mad at whatever it is that you're mad about, that dinosaur's gonna go away and all that stuff, it's important to remember that, like, Guardians is not the Velocicoaster. It's not even really Disney's best roller coaster. The thematic elements of the hyperspace jump points, the intergalactic jump points, are so visible from so far away, and no matter how many times I ride it, I think the same thing every time. This is just a bigger, better, faster, cooler Space Mountain. That's not even as cool as Frozen. Forget about the other parks rides. Frozen is still by far the best Disney ride in Epcot, because it took over a ride that was, by its nature, a perfect Disney ride, because it was a boat ride, which Disney's never done wrong once. People talk smack about Navi River Journey. It has an hour-and-a-half wait all the time. I think that that people can say whatever they want, but the proof of the pudding is that they are in line for that all the time. Flight of Passage regularly has a slower, lower wait time. Moving on from the negativity, let's talk about another thing. Like, again, when I was listening to this podcast today, another shout out to Main Street Moments was the name of the channel. It was very good. It was about WDWNT, who we all know I'm not a big fan of the network themselves or Tom. Talking about Disney Food Blog, a place that I really enjoy and actually have always, and AJ's always been probably one of the most nice, genuine people in the whole entire community. He was talking about how unethical they were, the stuff like that was getting bantered around made me think to myself, gosh, it's interesting that there's such, I don't know what happened to the friendliness. There were people that used to hang out like crazy. And I was a part of gangs that used to hang out like crazy. Those gangs kind of broke up. And I think it's interesting because it seems to happen to quite a few people. And as I listen to this podcast, which again, I don't want to play for copyright's sake. I don't know how these people are. They were playing WDWNT's podcast, so I'm sure I could play theirs. But they had mentioned my name again and other people who I hadn't thought about the fact that these people don't spend time together anymore. I wondered to myself, why don't those kind of people hang out anymore? Some of those people are my friends, and I thought to myself, gosh, I could, reach out and figure out what's kind of happened there. And it made me think to myself, I was talking to Michael about this last night. What happened to the community that was kind of the Disney community of creators? A couple years ago, we went and we did, and this is 2019 now, so it's 4 years. And before you know it, it'll be 5 years. The Beverly Challenge was set up by a guy I knew whose name was Dan, Josh from Resort TV 1, Dev, a lot of people were involved. It was a huge gathering of people, all streaming, all recording, having a good time for a good cause, Give Kids the World. And I thought about that night walking around, how many people there were. There was about 30 creators, right? Just walking around with all their cameras and stuff. And nowadays, when you see this stuff, everybody's alone, or they've got a sidekick. That sidekick's usually not a creator. And it's interesting because I don't know what happened to that. There's a person out there, and maybe you guys have seen their channel a little bit. They're called Florida Resident Edits, I think is the name of it. That channel just kind of rips on people that do this for a living. It's malintended, I think, to some extent, but on the other hand, it is a part of putting yourself out into the public eye, is just kind of accepting that some people are going to think you're just corny and want to bash on you for it. As a musician or something, or somebody that you were premiering your movie, you'd have to just kind of accept the fact that not everybody's going to be in love with it. You missed the Gasparilla Nights. Well, what's funny enough is that is exactly what came up in this podcast that I was listening to. The podcast had almost 100,000 views. It was interesting to hear our tiny little part of what that once was, that was viewed by these people back in the day. That was viewed by other people as a little sense of community, and what happened to that. And it made me think, I don't really know. I mean, I know for me, the 1,000 days has gotten in the way of so many things, you know. I mean, it's been helpful in so many ways. I can't begin to ever state what it's done for my discipline, my ability to just hit the button and say, hey, you know, this isn't something that I really want to do, but I'm doing it, you know. To an extent, I'm happy that everybody kind of branched out and found their own success, but it is sad that to an extent it had to always be so competitive between everybody. They were talking about how, and this was a quote from Tom that they discussed for a while, how everybody in the community that's a vlogger, and they didn't say streaming, but I think they kind of meant it as just an all-around everybody who does this. They were like, and this is for Tom from WDWT was saying this. He's like, I know for a fact that they all hate each other. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, it could be perceived that way from the outside, and even maybe internally too. That, like, I don't know what it is, and it kind of goes back to what I've been dealing with the past few days. I don't know what happens when, like, friendship, love, companionship, you know, spending time with people, whatever that form takes. I don't understand how that can go so negative for some people. You know, I'm just a person who tries to think about, like, the good times that I had with people. And if people don't want to, you know, collab with other people, people don't want to spend time with you in real life outside this, you know, Disney, it's interesting in that way. You just have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. I don't think anybody hates anybody, really. I think it's an interesting take. But it was his take, and they discussed it at length. I didn't go to the parks today, as you can tell. I decided to sit at home. I tried to do a little bit, I tried to be a little responsible today. I went to the dog park. I had a chance to see this lady who had gotten, maybe you guys remember the story, but the lady had gotten, her dog had gotten attacked at the dog park that day, and I kind of helped them out, and I saw her today. They said that they might be moving out of the area just for the same kind of reason. She's like, you know, it's just kind of bad. Things are just not a great place to be. Around Disney World, she said specifically, people seem so much more mad. And I said, you know, I gotta be honest with you, I feel the same way. I don't know what happened down here. For me, I'm mad because, damn, man, it's too busy. You know? Way too busy. Should not be this busy. Right? Like, it's crazy how busy Disney World is all the time. I'm gonna grab the pins so that I can do something productive while I chat with you guys. Oh, look at you. You got your first Bark Box toy out in forever. I'm proud of you, dog. Good girl. Good girl, alright? Start getting you more of those. Cool. Yeah, I don't remember doing it. Watch down. Okay. They're all yours, my friend. They're all your toys. Please destroy them all. Here's my day. Make my day, punk. I can tell you that by tomorrow, by the time I really get around to eating anything, because I'm still not that hungry, I'm going to probably weigh about 5 pounds less than I did a few days ago. We were eating a lot during that time, so it was crazy. I went from not eating at all to eating a ton, and now I'm like haven't eaten barely anything in days. I just have no appetite. The Moana opening day. The Walt Disney Day. Those are going on the boards. I gotta organize this a little bit. No, maybe I don't. Looks pretty good, actually. I think there's a couple spaces that could get filled in, though. I think there might be a couple munchlings in this bag or something. Galen, how are you? Hope you guys are all having a nice night. Again, I just wanted to have a quick little conversation after having listened to that podcast. Again, it was, if you want to check it out, it was really a really good listen in my book. It was Main Street Moments was the name of the channel, and the podcast was WDWNT and Disney Food Blog. It was a very good listen, and it was long. Didn't really expect myself to be sitting there and listening to it for as long as I did, but man, was I. Actually, that should go on the board. If I can just get it back out. Very, very good stuff. So anyway, a little bit back to me. I'm alright today. Again, I tried my best to make some efforts over the past few days to reach out after this, and, no avail, which is no surprise. A big part of why everything is going and went the way that it went. A lack of whatever I would call it, just like, who knows, just difference, maybe not even a lack of anything. Just a big difference between two people. Giving me an opportunity to work on some things with myself that I'm not great with. I'm very much a big fan of closure. I think it's important for the brain, you know what I mean? And to be kind of operating under a different zone. It's uncomfortable, but whatever. I think it got too watered down, and that's why people aren't tight. That's what the question was from Bennett. Is that, yeah, I mean, obviously, that could be. I think it's probably a combination of a lot of things. I don't think everybody definitely doesn't want to be streaming on top of each other. So if your goal is to be out there streaming, it gets a little harder. I think the collabing part was different when people that were vlogging with them. Some streamers had vloggers that were with them, some vloggers had vloggers that were with them, but streamers often didn't really hang out with each other while they streamed. It was streaming over each other is what a lot of people called it. I mean, they brought up a good point too on this podcast. Again, Main Street Moments, go check them out. It's pretty good. Talking about the good old days. Yeah, they had actually mentioned the good old days. Like Gasparilla, my name, Tanya's name specifically, as people who just don't hang out anymore, and it kind of got me thinking about what the perception must be from the outside. I thought to myself, God, this podcast got, upward. It's on its way to 100,000 views. It's only it wasn't that old, so. Had 300 comments. I was like, wow, this is pretty incredible to see that. It's tough because nobody wants to do that job against each other. And they had brought up this moment where Josh from Resort TV1 and Ron on the go, who we see a lot. I don't really know him, sadly, but they were streaming Casey's corner piano player like at the same time, and they were like just facing each other or something like that. And like they said they were watching it and they were just like cracking up because they were just switching back and forth. Like, why the hell are these guys doing the same exact thing? And I think that to an extent, that's what we've all kind of turned into, is we're all out there doing the same bullcrap, right? We've all just turned into the people just doing the same old thing. Makes me question a lot of things about what I want to do moving forward, the YouTube channel, all this stuff. You know, and I gotta be honest with you, I think to an extent what's gonna happen is I might try to figure out something else around here. I might focus up on the pins. I might just turn it all into kind of a pin thing. I might even start a whole new channel. I guess who cares, right? Keep this as another chapter of Tom Does Disney's fine too. I mean, whatever it is, I just need to lean into, just like what we were doing, kind of growing this collection, starting to go to places that buy pins, sell pins, whatnot. Apparently, everybody's always sending me these whatnot links. They're like, Tom, you gotta go watch this pin stream. These people are selling the pins, and you can get them for like cheap. I'm like, I'm not quite there. I don't have a collection like that, but I would love to figure out something with a little kind of storefront activity where I could curate little collections for people, spend time in the park doing this stuff. I don't know. I have a lot of fun with it. Especially since I got away from all the stupid fake trading, you know? There's so much fake trading I didn't understand at first. I had so many fake collections and fake pins. I didn't know what the difference was. Now that I get it and that there's actually like a hobbyist side of this, it's so much more interesting. Yeah, 6 choppers all balancing in the air trying to fight for the same spot. You know, they've gotten into big accidents doing that stuff. There's been big accidents by choppers being too close to each other in those kind of moments because they're all trying to get that one news source. It's ridiculous. Okay, Epcot Loop, can you just stop on this right now? Well, I mean, you know, as sad as that is, I don't, like, there's a lot of, again, I don't even really want to be, after the other night, part of me doesn't even want to be mentioning anything that has to do with anything besides my part of all this, which is always how I've been. But I can tell you that from my part of it, I would like to continue to do the pin thing. And obviously I'll be, you know, it's a solo effort to continue. It would have been, you know, it's, I need to just move forward positively and we'll figure out kind of how it all goes. I think that once the 1,000 days are over, it'll be different no matter what situation my personal life looks like at that point. And it's not too far away, you know. We just gotta close this out. I just need this chapter of my life to be over. Yes, I know, it's very good. We're almost within the kind of closing distance, so next few weeks we can get through. Mike and Lisa will be up here and just try to kind of push forward. Pierce will be up in a couple of weeks. Yeah. My parents too. Some friends from back home. Sargento, how are you, sir? I think one thing that I need. What's the verdict on the Disney community? Oh, I kind of talked about it for the first little bit. I watched a podcast today that really had just got me going. They talked about it for an hour plus. I can't do that. I don't have enough to say. But I thought it was interesting. I just brought up the points of one. I think it's weird that everybody's so negative about everything now all the time, and that seems to be like the best way to get clickbait and like just to be clickbaity and negative. And also, it's weird that people don't hang out who used to hang out. I'm not going to do what they did and start going through a list of people, but they were spot on with everybody they said. I can tell you that. Dog. You just ripped open one of your toys. I mean, how Eric, what's up? Marcos, how are you guys? Thanks for joining in. So yeah, tomorrow we'll just be out doing something normal, kind of a more normal day. I need to just get my head right and start to kind of free my mind up from, things aren't always gonna go anyway. That's I'm not, control is an illusion, and I just hope that over the next, few days, weekend, whatever it looks like, I can try to get a little. Again, for me, I just use the word closure. Not that I want an end of anything. I would like to try to figure out a path forward where memories can all stay good and friendships can remain the way they are among all you guys. A lot of you guys are, it's not like that. Believe me, I don't live life in with regrets. I mean, I can't. Again, everybody. You know what's interesting is the past few days, everybody who's come up to me or talked to me or watches or knows, just in general. I live my whole my whole thing is like I said. When you're in like a public thing, people talk about you and they know about you and. Everybody keeps telling me the same thing, you know what I mean? And like they're like, oh, is there a path forward? They keep saying, everybody, path forward, path forward. I don't, if somebody doesn't even want to be my friend, and if they're harboring hatred for me, I can't change that. It's not something I want in my life, and it's something that I'm really struggling with. That's what's going on with me. Struggling with being hated. Especially with so many positive, good memories, and there's just I would hate some kind of taint to that whole picture. If it was like it's this nice picture and it could stay a nice picture, it doesn't have to continue. Like we can just stop drawing the picture, right? Like the art can be done for now, forever, for whatever it is. But we could just look back, we could step back and enjoy it. We don't have to take a can of paint and just splash it on there, right? That's just where my head's at. I'm just trying not to, I just want, anyway. So while I continue to kind of mull things over, we'll have some quieter days, I'm sure, some more kind of reflective, chilling days. No doubt. I appreciate you, man. You've been very, very, very friendly with all this advice and, you know, positive, and I get it. I appreciate everybody. It's not, maybe sometimes in life I just don't know, like, whatever the exact move is. You know, for me, I think, oh, you know, I would want this, but it's obvious that we're different people and we don't want the same thing. In that way, I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't even want to speak for anybody. I mean, hatred, the visceralness of the day was all kind of crazy, but I don't want to speak for, you know, I hope that that's not the case. I've always, this is what I have above everything else. You know, I listened to Jay Leno talk a little bit today about, he was talking about the feud that he had with Letterman and the taking over of late night and all that stuff, which was a huge deal, right? And he was talking about the fact that he was like, you know, when you're on the road every night, like he was, when you're a comic that's just trying to make it, you know, and that's all you care about is you just have a goal in your mind. Nothing else can get in that way. Like he says, and it was like quote for quote, I could play it back for you. He was like, you know, you said, I'll do the Jay Leno thing, because I like that. Yeah, it's me, Jay. He was like, you know, he's like, when you're on the road every night, it is what it is. Then, you know, you got to tell the girlfriend, you got to tell the wife, you know, like, hey, you're never going to be more important than this. You could be just as important. You could be just as important. And I thought to myself, like, I would never want anybody to have to give up any part of themselves to be with me. I wouldn't want to have to give up any part of myself to be with somebody. And I'd want to know that there was a friendship and a respect there and understanding to, like, figure that out. If we, you know, you don't figure it out the right way at first, that is what it is. You know, this kind of extrapolates onto the greater picture that we're talking about here, really. If you think about it, we could just use it in that way. I mean, this has been a pain. How about my personal experience with this community? Besides a few people that I really enjoy, again, people like Tanya, I have not a bad word to say. I'd never have a bad word to say about Pat. I would never have a bad word to say about people like Aaron. I would never have a bad word to say about people like Sam Lowe. Not just you guys in the chat. I don't have anything bad to say about any of you. I'm saying people in the community who are community-based people. Josh, Jen, I don't really have anything bad to say about Nate. I don't have, you know, but other people have rubbed me the wrong way several times. Personally, creatively, and not just that, but being a creator in this community has been a big pain in my ass. It extrapolated into so much weirdness, goodness, badness. If there was anything I hated about it, it's not the other people that do this or any of that. What I would hate is that part of it. Why would you ever, whether they were your friend, your whatever, right? Whoever it is, just say it was a relationship you had with somebody, your parents, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, friend, work, coworker, whoever it is, you have a relationship with this person. It's so interesting to have somebody like you and then hate you. And that happens in this community all the time. It's not an open hatred most of the time, but it's like people instantly stop hanging out with each other. They never say hi to each other anymore. They don't comment on each other's posts. They unfollow each other. They take down past things that had the other people in them. It's like, why would you have done that stuff with those people in the first place? You know, did you not? Did you? I don't know. Somebody in the chat the other night had said it while the things were going down, and it applies to the greater picture. Like, if something's bad and you don't like it, it's important to do the right thing and step away from it. But if it was something that you enjoyed and you enjoyed it for a long time, I even have this problem sometimes with people who are like completely sober. I think to myself, you know, completely avoiding something. Your ex-coworkers, you never go back to your job. Your ex-husband who, you know, you never talk to again, even though you have kids and like all this stuff. These moments that you have in life where you just never kind of turn back. It almost makes that time, for me, and I don't know how everybody works, but for me it makes that time seem tainted. The time you spent working there, the time you spent creating with those people in the park, the time you spent, you know, being with somebody in any capacity. It's just like, I don't know. It's for me, a personal thing for sure. I mean, the people that I've dealt with from doing this have all mostly, and it's not, I shouldn't say that because a lot of them are good people. People like Dawn and Pierce and Michael last night giving me the pin, and like, they've been around for years and years. Elizabeth, you know, I think some of these people, even Pierce the other night when I was upset and I was like, oh, maybe it's Pierce that's, you know, sending me these messages. He understood where I was coming from. Dawn, when I had to unfriend her during the whole Voldemort era, she understood what was going on. Like, I don't do any of this out of a malintent. Sometimes I speak out of turn, I make mistakes, but I'm always apologetic and I always know when I've done wrong by people. You know, I think that even people like Elizabeth, she waited forever for her package. You know, Jeff waited forever for his package. Paula, Cheryl's in the chat. These guys have waited 4 or 5 months for me to send them things that they bought during one of the closet sales. They know I'm good for it because I've sent them other things that have taken me forever. It's like you saw with, you know, what was happening. There's always a lot going on behind the scenes. You guys see 95% of my life, but you don't get to see the 5%. And the 5% is usually where I'm really dealing with some stuff. It's the stuff I don't want to put on the plate of all you guys, and sometimes results in a little bit of misunderstanding. But you do get the realest version of me as possible, and I hope that people like Paula who are here listening, that's great. And, you know, I don't know, I'm not perfect and I never will be perfect. This is something I would say, again, and I don't even want to be saying names or anything. I would just, throughout the past year and a half in this relationship, one of the things I said a lot was, you know, I'm not a robot. I have human emotions and I'm not perfectly programmed to fit every situation. I can just do my best. And I'm just trying to be the best Tom that I can kind of be. Which apparently for some people is good enough. Like people like Paula, people like, again, we're willing to sit on the, but for some people they would never ever order from me again. For some people, like Dawn, even though it's a sore subject, as she just said, she understands that doesn't dampen our relationship. We've still been able to talk about important things behind the scenes that she was going through, I was going through. I just mentioned you last night when Shay came up. I gave him the koozie. I said, "There's a Dawn. She would be so upset with me if I don't give these out because she, you know, makes them for everybody. You know, your contribution here is never going to be. I'll never be able to pay it back. The best thing I can do is, again, just try to be the best friend to you that I can be. When you come down here, try to make myself available. I'd love to pay for a dinner every once in a while, but you're always ahead of it and giving me stuff. got a nice little pin collection going. I'd love to put you together a bag of some pins that you can use to trade around the parks with actual people, if that's something you ever want to get into, you know. I don't know, I just try to, you know I say this a lot, and I don't want to get too emotional or whatever. I don't want to go down some path of drama and all that stuff. This is all just conversation, therapeutic, logical, thought out conversation. And so maybe I should just keep it that way. But you know what? No, it's not right, because what the hell? I know how difficult I can be, you know? I know I'm a lot better version of myself than I ever was. I know that there were parts of me that were not what I wanted them to be, and I've done a lot of work over the past few years getting to that point. And even when that part of me was staring at myself as close as a mirror, I didn't allow myself to ever become the kind of bad versions of myself that I've always been. Impatient, not working towards good communication, quick to anger. Not, as I say all the time, I have a very small window for like ignorance and bullshit. And when people approach me with that, how do I deal with it? I'm still not great, you know, like the dog park incident, good example. Like, I'm always trying to learn and just figure out just to be better, right? I talked about this all the time during the course that I was in, 36 weeks of a course, like putting that into real life practice. And again, I don't want you guys to think anything. We had a great time. I mean, in my eyes, I mean, it's up to, maybe that's just my perception. I mean, I don't think it is, considering, again, like even screen grabs from the stream are being used for like posts like days later. Like, you can't, I mean, there was good times that were had. Go back and watch any of the streams. Like, none of that was fake for the camera. We never did any of that. We had a lot of fun. And that came from those kind of places on both of our ends of trying to be as good for each other as possible. You know, and if you can only do what you can do. And when that's not the case anymore, then it is what it is. But putting that kind of stuff into practice has helped me trying to become a better version of myself. Ari, another good example of responsibility every day, a thing that I have to care about, a freedom that I gave up to have the thing I always wanted, a Shiba Inu, you know? Oh my God, man, do you remember that? Yeah, well, maybe I get you some pins that you'd like for your collection, Dawn. I don't know. I just meant, you know what I mean? I'd always love to be able to pay you back in more than just my friendship or whatever. In any way. I told you, I'm an old man, says All. I watch a lot and don't chat much, but I feel you should take a listen to Bobby Sherman, Jennifer. See how you feel. Oh, man, I can't be doing that, man. It'd be like me listening to Mike Doty right now, 27 Jennifers. That song, it's been a part of my life for 15 years. 15 years. Never gonna be able to listen to it the same ever, depending on, again, like, hopefully there's friendship, so it's not like that. But anyway, Tom, remember that time at the Haunted Mansion where the dude called me racist and all that shit? Yeah, well, I remember. I think about it all the time. I think about that moment all the time. I think about my favorite part was how I punked them all. Because I turned like the opposite way, like the door was going to open to the other side and they all followed me, and then it opened on the other side and they all started yelling at me because we were the last out of the room. They were like, you don't even know what you're doing. You're here, you think you know what you're doing, you don't even know what you're doing. I was like, oh no, trust me, I know exactly what I was doing. I was like, you followed me, didn't you? Yeah, racist. He called me a racist because the person at the Haunted Mansion, I mean, I gotta tell you, those are the things, again, we were talking earlier about the negativity that people bring to Disney. That's one thing that I do understand. I mean, places like the Guardians queue, the Haunted Mansion queue, even me, and I was just about to, even the other day when we got on the Haunted Mansion to see Hatbox Ghost, I was thinking to myself, this is a zoo. Everybody's trying to be the first one. Everybody's crammed into this thing. Everybody's aggravated because they're pushy. It's like from a bygone era of patience and respect. Like, these queues need to get fine-tuned. You know, they need to get that stuff figured out. Retrofitting whatever the hell needs to happen. Getting rid of some of the garden, stretching that room out, whatever it means. Like, they need to do, and it's only going to get ever get worse, you know? There's certain rides to their credit, like Space Mountain, where you'd never have to do that. But Guardians, it's like, that's a brand new ride, and if Disney's still, that's where their head's at. It's like Rise. You know, those two elements of Rise where they let you just run on in and go crazy. It's like, yeah, 90s Disney's gone. Well, you're right. It's the vacation destination, and there's more people than there ever was, and that is represented all over the place. There's more cars, there's more schools, houses getting built. It's a place for sure. The small percent of dickheads is compounded, yeah. Larger percentile of dickheads. Then DJ MC Chenzo's in the house. I'm gonna really try my best to get out there, eat some food tomorrow, and just have a nice normal day. Apart from the Haunted Mansion the other day to see Hatbox Ghost, have not been on a Disney ride in months. My longest break since 2018, because even then when I was taking the vacations, I was still on those rides every other month. This has been my... Anyway. CeeLo, what's up, man? Because you love to do it, not doing sports. And say, yeah, no, you're cool. I'm not too. You're everybody does it, man. Everybody's streaming all the time. Yesterday I'm walking around. Everybody got a goddamn gimbal in their TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Everybody's live on. They're like, I'm live on Dingle Dong. I'm like, oh, great, another thing. I'm live on phlebotomy. I'm like, oh. Yeah. No, I got you. I appreciate you being in here. Trust me, it means a lot to me that you know. I've always looked at your channel and thought to myself, you know, I'd kill for something like that. So it's cool that you just watch little old me. I mean, it's interesting. Not interesting, I don't mean it in a negative way. It's just cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Oh, I'm not doing... Well, I appreciate you both, Pierce and Top Sevens, but trust me when I'm telling you I'm not doing great, and I don't want to be doing great. I'm a little kind of shocked and awed about how great the other side seems to be doing. Let's put it that way, as cordially as I can. But that's not my... We all process our shit different. Yeah. Well, I didn't come down here with that expectation, to be honest with you, that everybody was going to be fake. Kind of surprised the hell out of me, to be honest with you. And again, not everybody is fake. There are some real ass people in this community. Again, without people like Tanya and Pat, like, my life wouldn't be what it is. I mean, I owe my life to these guys in different ways. Mike and Lisa, like, I owe my life to these people in certain ways. And again, if you were here the other night, I hope you didn't get anything twisted in what I was trying to say. Like, yeah. just am shocked by the fakeness among so many of the others. Hey, you know what has been nice though is the pin trading, because the community seems pretty nice. Seems pretty wholesome. I mean, I gotta tell you, like, think about the interactions we've had with just normal people, day guests, right? I mean, some of these people, I haven't even gotten their names immediately, and they've done things like Chris did the other day by trading me the Animal Kingdom pin in good faith, LE 1500, like nice solid 20, 30, 40, maybe even $50 pin. Those girls that were trading, like, super nice. They were like, oh, can we get you anything if you watch our stuff? I'm like, yeah, just like a cup of water. They bring me back a Dasani water bottle. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, can I trade you a pin for it? They're like, don't be ridiculous. I'm like, I need to force the pin onto them. Like, please, please, take the pin, take the pin. Like, I'm peddling my wares. Please take the pin for this water bottle. I don't even know your name. Like, Audrey, the things that she does to set aside pins for me, like DVC pins and bolt pins. Jessica, being so thoughtful last night as to have set aside Jasmine, like Chezzy, you know, I mean, she's not a local, but she's kind of a pin trader. All the boxes she bought for us, like crazy. The community has been great. Even Nick and Shannon, they were so nice and like followed me back, and like the people at Pain HQ, I mean, responded to my message overnight and said, definitely come in and trade. And then when I brought that up there, like they were like, oh, definitely. Like it was all gravy. Like it's nice to, again, I don't know why everybody does this. I mean, I don't mind being a part of what people think of as the Disney influencing, creating community. I don't mind my name being in there. I actually enjoy that. I didn't do all this work for nothing. That 10K is gonna feel great, and it's coming. People have been subbing to the channel. We've had more subs since I started pin trading than we did in the past year and a half. Okay? Think about that. So, and it's not a lot. I mean, it's only like 80 subs, but in the past 2 months, 80 subs. So if we get back to that kind of pace, then yeah, we'll hit 10K and I'll be happy. I always wanted 10K. I mean, Earl, I don't want that 100K, right? I want the plaque and all that shit, but that might never happen. Probably won't happen. There's few people in this community seem to get to that place. I could do vlogs, I could do shorts and try to get myself there the cheap way. And maybe once I'm done streaming, that is what I'm going to do. When I'm trading pins and I have more time to do that kind of stuff, maybe it's time, once the streams are over, I can, as much as I love this phone and it's been so reliable, the reality is that the streaming could move forward. And I could get one of those newer iPhones and really, like I did with the vlogs the other day, use that to vlog. You know, the big camera was fun and it looked cool and it does give you a certain kind of look, like you know what you're doing, but there's so many people out there nowadays that have that. And those iPhone 15s, man, god damn are they monsters. So, if the creating can be lightweight and I can just be bringing a little pin bag into the parks with my keys and my wallet and stuff, like, yeah, life's gonna be good, you know, and it is good now, and it has been good. My life's always, don't get me wrong, I'm not some fucking depressed whatever. You know, I know how much worse life can be. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful for my health, my mental cognition, my, everything I have, you know, like thankful for the privileges that I've had in my life, thankful for the struggles that I've had. I enjoy life. I really genuinely do. And I think that, yeah, the problem has been lately, there's been a little bit of not enjoyment of things that, you know, should be enjoyable for everybody on both sides. And that's why they're just, you know, the change that's kind of happening right now is. And I appreciate y'all being here, and I appreciate you listening to my bullshit for the past few days. Fuck me, man. Kids, I'm sorry I said a curse word, but Papa Tom has had a long few days and sometimes it needs to come out. Papa Tom, Uncle Tom, maybe? Nah. So tomorrow, studios, Joey Coffee. What's up there, Joey Coffee? Pin trading has been a nice addition. That's for show. That's right. Do pin trading for beginners for like how-to and stuff. Oh man, I'd love to. It's kind of a... Yeah, I would suggest just trying to find somebody that will like... Depends on like what you want to trade until Disney gets their boards figured out. You know what I mean? I think to an extent, as long as your plan is to kind of give back to the community, make some good trades after, you can kind of pilfer the boards a little bit like everybody else does. But I think the problem is that everybody does it, so everybody thinks it's cool, and that's kind of where like the problem lies. I do think that if you do it to get a collection going, it's kind of the only feasible way is to get like a lot of pins that, you know, Disney's trading. Let's just put it like that, right? Like it's, if they're trading them, I'm not trading them. That's their, I don't trade those pins on my board here, on my thing that I carry around, and I talk to people about why I can't. But if Disney wants to, then, you know, really you can just get kind of a lot of pins and just go and trade. And like I say to everybody, it doesn't have to be all authentic. You don't need to have some authentic collection. You can just collect the pins you like, whether they're authentic or not, as long as you're having fun. You collect a character easier that way. I mean, but if you want authentic pins, you're gonna have to buy into. You're gonna have to buy those boxes when they go on sale. Try to get good deals so that you can trade out and trade up, and similar to card trading or anything, you know. There's only one way to get involved. You can find old lots of cards that people just don't want anymore, and in this case, it's pins. Mix in some clickety-clack of bricks. Good therapy. You know, this has been really weird for me this month because we haven't had to do the nightly bricks advent calendar. That was kind of like a weird shift at the beginning of the month for me too. I'm just trying to refocus on life, that's all. Can't do it all, right? I love the Lego collection, I really do, and I look forward to building some sets soon. I love building Lego. In that same way that there was a commonality that existed in the beginning of this that's not really there anymore, as with the pin trading, you know, I'm gonna have to kind of continue to focus on what these things look like on my own. And for the Lego, I can tell you that it doesn't fit in as easily as the pin trading does. I like being in Disney. I like talking to the people. I don't need special equipment to do it. I wouldn't have to sit in this seat, quiet in the house. It's around people. It's out in the world, which I'd much rather be. Especially, you know, lately, like I was. I probably spent maybe 30 of the past 40 days in the park, if not more. So, including spring. So I've just been trying to get back after it, and I do enjoy being there. I do love Walt Disney World. It's my place that I would choose to hang out, you know. So, having said all that, let's take Jasmine, Pocahontas, Anna the Moana pin. Let's move over to the pin board. Hi, Chloe V. How are you? Wow, it's cold on this floor, isn't it, Ari? So this thing got a huge reorganization the other night. Everything got tightened up, moved around. The dragons completed. And now the princesses. We've got a couple spots to fill in. Number 1, Pocahontas. Right there, thank you. Perfect fit, love that. And Jasmine. Princess Yasmin. Up next, the final, almost final piece of the puzzle, but certainly the harder one to get. Anna. I cannot believe we pulled this out of that box the other day. That was fantastic, wasn't it? Oh shit, what happened there? This is too far away. Oh God, don't break. We don't need any breakage now. Calm down, everybody. No, I need Sven. My goal to get Sven so that the board can be officially, well, I technically need the Hatbox Ghost out of the set too. But once I have the Hatbox Ghost, then all my current sets are complete. I think I gotta go grab that Walt pin and kind of get it in here with the Walt stuff. Can you believe that Audrey had the Heimlich completer the other day? And she has the Castle completer. I mean, that lady has it figured out, doesn't she? Upsy daisy. Board number 2. Another attraction opening pin. This time for Moana, the Journey of Water. Well, our board's almost full. It's gonna need to get reorganized at some point. That's a kick-ass collection we got going here. Walt and Mickey, though, I think can fit on the board, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, Walt and Mickey can probably fit right on the board. Perfect. Wow. That's nice. Usually back pins don't fit on this bottom board. I don't know, you're staring at my face. What do you want? No, this is a sight for sore eyes. Look at you with all your toys, playing with them. Man, it's like you took a bark hiatus and then all of a sudden tonight you just go off. Look at all this fluff. I love this. This is one of my favorite sights. Destroyed toys on the ground. Well, that's it from me. I'm gonna put my Christmas lights on tonight for a little bit. Brandon, what's up, brother? I got this shirt on, but it doesn't mean, and even though it has your name, don't take it like that. Oh God, damn. Need more food. You always feel supported when people encourage you. You've seen that sketch? If you haven't, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Here, everybody, you can all go watch it. I'll put it right here in the chat. There you go. Watch that. Kyle Mooney at his best. I miss him on SNL. He was like such an important part of that show. Now that he's gone, it stinks. Go run, you wild stallions. I'll be back tomorrow for another adventure. See you then. Appreciate you all. Oh no, please send me all that, because I might have caught some of it, but I was definitely in the zone last night. I was about as tired and like, I don't know. I just feel like the past few days have been a week. So, goodbye. Dawn, Doc, Lori. Much love, everybody. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe we'll go back to Epcot. It would be nice. So, I'll think about it tonight. Get a little plan going for myself. See ya.